Yeah, I'd be curious, Mike, if you could just talk about putting this together and running experiments in some type of collaborative or social learning environment. Can you talk about how that compared to what you were doing before that, let's say learning in a more isolated environment?
So my background was building large custom programs for companies where we would bring people together, but for business simulations or experiential learning programs that were very well designed and well structured. The difference here is that we wanted to be content light and structure light, focus more on getting the right people together, and then just enough priming to get them into the conversation. So that was the gist. So the difference was, I think, a limited level of planning in the structure and just see what worked. Let people have great conversations, give them a few things to do, prime them just a little bit. So really, really light on content and structure.
Here's another example, and this was Aziza from UL on some of the existing technology that they were utilizing. Again, they didn't go out and purchase licenses or platforms. They used the existing technology, which included their SharePoint. And I know Aziza did a demonstration for their SharePoint site. Aziza, anything that you'd like to add to your technology?
From my side, we were just trying to begin the experimentation using the tools that already existed in our organization. And so that's why we began with this selection of tools, really.
It looks like a lot of other folks are using existing. So I see Teams seems to be pretty prevalent in terms of their technology. Somebody has Intrepid, Teams, and Kahoot.
The reason that we use Teams and Kahoot was we're able to go through and build camaraderie. We're able to answer questions. Since it was a technical certification through Microsoft and through Pearson VUE, we had a assessment at the end, and we could go through and determine whether they were able to complete the task or not. As employees completed the task, then they were able to help out others and kind of point out what they experienced, what did they get. So there's lots of different things as part of the building up the teamwork, building up the conversation. What we wanted to do was we wanted to create a PowerPoint presentation and embed quizzes, polls, all in one type of seamless atmosphere to get that conversation going. And that's why we were able to go through and kind of use Kahoot.
Tamar, how did you come up with, first of all, these curriculum overviews, and how did you decide on what was it going to be, an hour virtual meeting, 2-hour virtual meeting, and the pacing of your content?
We came up with it by working with the business line leaders and availability and how much time, because these are frontline leaders, how much time they would be able to afford to have them away learning.
How do you guys decide the peer group matching for your cohorts?
One of the areas that we're seeing is we work with a lot of companies who oftentimes are siloed within the organizations, right? So they might have a leadership development group, and maybe they're coming from one part of the business that doesn't talk to another part of the business. So it's important to put them together and have them talk to other parts of the business and form their relationships as they move up in their career. So, in consequence of cohort, not only are they learning new skills, but they're actually creating those connections with other parts of the business. And oftentimes with, for example, let's say supply chain, there may be another team within the company that's facing the same issue. And then they discuss, they connect, and then they're able to basically not have to reinvent the wheel. So that's one consequence of sort of breaking down the silos. And then, what we're trying to do with cohorts is put people together that are sort of facing the same issues as well.